Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities, and that will be the case today as I'll be analyzing the chart of a relatively, I'd say they're a power couple. Pop star Katy Perry and her fiance and longtime partner, actor Orlando Bloom. So I've been sitting on this analysis for a while, and I was waiting for the right moment to do it. And I found the right moment because they have been in the news cycle in the last couple of days. Katy's on the Australian leg of her world tour. And the other night, she was on stage. She was singing a breakup song with a pack of Tim Tams. She was munching on some Tim Tams at the same time. And she burst into tears. And she said, "Oh, I'm singing a breakup song and these Tim Tams save me, hee hee hee." And she had like tears running down her face. And then the internet, the media is speculating whether her and Orlando are on the rocks. So I thought I'll have a look at the Synastry chart and we can have a look at their chemistry, their relationship, try and figure out what's going on, okay? Before I dive in, I just want you guys to know that I have a class, a 2-hour class on the IC. It's on the 19th or 20th of June. It just depends on what what part of the world you're in. It will be on the IC, the 4th house. I'll be looking at planetary aspects to the IC, planetary placements in the 4th house, and of course I'll be using celebrity examples to illustrate my points. You get to meet me in the Zoom room. You get to pick my brain. It's a 45-minute presentation, 75 minutes Q&A. And if you attend the class, you get a copy, a recording of the presentation, and of course a recording of the Q&A. You get a workbook designed by me with answer pages and a copy of the slideshow presentation. So if that's something that interests you, I would love to see you there. And I also do recorded readings, 15-minute recorded readings for synastries, full chart readings, transit readings. And I also do 5-minute focused readings and astrocartography readings, which are more specific. So if you're looking to have me answer a question that is very specific for a specific area of your life or a specific part of your chart, that's what the focus readings are for. And I also do, I also have YouTube members. That's another great way to support me. And people on there, you get extra content and special deals. And if you don't want to do any of that, you can like, subscribe, comment, click the bell, help me with the algorithm. I'll be so grateful because I want to reach 10,000 really soon. That would be great. All right. That's all. Thank you so much. All right. So let's have a look at these two. All right. Katy's the inner circle. She's the blue planets. Orlando is the outer circle. He's the red planets. So as you can see here, she's got a lot of Scorpio. She's got Sun, Mercury, the Moon, along with Saturn and Pluto and a rising all in Scorpio. Oof. Super beautiful, but also kind of troubled. She's got a Venus in Sagittarius in a conjunction with Uranus. That explains her attraction to foreign men, doesn't it? And Mars in Capricorn, a great placement in a conjunction with Jupiter. Okay. Now, Orlando is a Sun, Mercury, and Mars in Capricorn. He has a rising in Aquarius and a Venus in Pisces. And if we move up here, you'll see he too has a moon with Scorpio. I think it's at 0 degrees with a north node at 29 degrees in Libra, which does form a conjunction right there. Okay. All right, let's move to the next slide. Take me home. Katy's Sun, Pluto conjunct Orlando's north node and moon. So Katy's really important to Orlando's spiritual evolution and for him to achieve the destiny of having a family. I mean, he already was a family man before this. He has one child with the supermodel Miranda Kerr, and they were together for quite a while. You know, I was looking at his chart earlier by itself, and I was just thinking, wow, Miranda really was, like, in a lot of ways, his soulmate, like probably more suited to him than Katy. She's very, very opposite to Miranda, but anyway. He has a north node with the moon. And when someone has a north node with the moon, the destiny is family. The destiny is the domestic sphere. And that's exactly what he was able to achieve with Katy. I think more so with Katy than he was with his previous partner. Even though I did say that in a lot of ways she's better suited to Orlando, Katy was the person that could give him that family, that stable family. Not necessarily because she herself is the most stable person, but energetically she could give him what he needed in order to create that stable family for himself. So it was a collaborative effort. They have a sun moon conjunction, a sun Scorpio, a moon Scorpio. The sun person feels accepted. The sun is the brightest thing in the sky. So yeah, when you have because the sun is loud, it's visible. The moon is quiet and invisible because it comes out at night. It's when everybody's asleep, right? So one's a very extroverted planet, one's a very introverted planet, and when you have them together in a synastry chart, the sun person feels like they are accepted. Like, this person can stare at my bright light and not walk away, and not feel disgusted, and I can just be myself. I can shine really brightly and just be my weird self. And that's very much true for Katy. She's been very, I think since being with him, she's been a little bit more like secure with herself, actually. Certainly better with him than she was with Russell Brand. And he feels seen. He feels he can be vulnerable with her because the moon is the softest part of the chart. So yeah, these two luminaries together in a synastry is quite beautiful. It is quite challenging though, because someone does have planets on your north node, they're going to take you on that path, that spiritual evolution. But spiritual evolution is incredibly painful. It's incredibly challenging because you have to expand your horizons spiritually, intellectually, certainly in the domestic sphere. That is true. I think in their relationship, in a lot of ways, he takes of this submissive role because his moon is the feminine submissive planet. The sun is the dominant. So it's still a beautiful synastry, but I think when it comes to family matters, I think he probably bears the brunt of responsibility in terms of the daughter. Not to say she's a bad parent or anything, I'm not saying that, but I'm just letting you know what I see here, Now, oh, interesting. So he's got this north node because he's got that ninth house, Scorpio. Ninth house is overseas. If we did this whole sign, his moon plays into the ninth house. That's finding a home overseas. So Katy, because she's got all this Scorpio, which plays out in his ninth house of overseas, and also his moon plays out here. She's part of that relocation. So she helps him relocate overseas to make a home. If your moon plays out in the ninth house, your destiny is to potentially find home in a faraway place. So that's what he did with her. She helped him with that. Yeah. Also, he's got Juno here. Juno's the wife. Jupiter represents marriage. Juno is also marriage. Jupiter and Juno are married, right? Jupiter is like the romantic part of that. Jupiter is expansive and happy and joyful and all those things. Juno's the contract of marriage. So there was a lot of qualities about Katy that made him sign the contract. I know they didn't officially get married, but they've effectively been living as a de facto couple for a while, haven't they? They've been together for almost a decade, if not maybe longer than a decade. They've been together for a while. So yeah, he was like, I'm going to commit. I'm wondering if, because the Uranus's proximity to everything as well, I'm wondering if there've been discussions that maybe they have an open marriage. I wouldn't be surprised. So we move down, you'll see that she does have Venus in Sagittarius with Uranus. And I'm wondering if, I'm wondering, like, that's like a non-conventional relationship. I know they like to like to put out there when they're on red carpets. They are in this conventional loving relationship and it can be incredibly loving. But because of Uranus being so prominent here, like it's in a conjunction with her Venus, it's his Uranus is sitting on her Scorpio Mercury rising and moon. I am wondering if they have breaks or they have an agreement. I am wondering if they do have something that is open and that has a lot of flexibility, because your heavy Aquarius or heavy Uranus heavy charts tend to need that. They need that freedom. Her Venus is in Sagittarius, falling in love with a foreigner. Like, this isn't her first British man that she's been with. I think she likes the exotic. Not that I perceive British men as particularly exotic, but to an American girl from Santa Barbara, I think she does. Her Venus sits on his midheaven. Certainly being with her does make him look good. If someone's Venus sits on your midheaven, it's nice for your image. He already had Neptune up here, so he's already got that. He's got a lot of mystique, doesn't he? It's very Legolas. It's very a fantasy creature, right? There's Neptune on the midheaven in Sagittarius. That is Legolas. I think being with her is nice for his image, and they look good together as well. Okay, let's move down here. Mind on the money. They did businesses together. They own Bragg's, don't they? They own a part of that Bragg's apple vinegar company, don't they? There was a lot of controversy around that, I remember. These two have businesses together. They both have a Mars in Capricorn. They're very interested in staying financially stable. I can imagine her tour having lackluster sales and her album not doing well must have been a real shot to the heart. Like, as a Mars in Capricorn myself, when my funds run low, it's very anxiety inducing. It's very exhausting. They both have a shared passion to maintain their bank accounts. It's a very survivalist Mars. It's an exalted Mars. So even if she was never to do pop stardom again, I think she would be fine. This does complicate a potential breakup though, because they have so many things fused together. They have so many they do have businesses together and properties and things like that. I wonder if he's the brains behind a lot of it though. He's got literally he's got a business mind. He's got a Mercury in Capricorn in a conjunction with Mars. I don't think acting is, I mean, he does acting. He's a pretty successful actor. I haven't seen anything big recently, but it seems like he likes to spread out a little bit more. I'm wondering if he's got like a really good real estate portfolio. Like, he's just really, literally, he's got his mind on the money. He's motivated by money. He's motivated by stability. Yeah. Also, he's got Mercury and Mars playing out in the 11th house. He does that's like charitable work, speaking out for like charity organizations, because Mercury in the 11th house and even Mars in the 11th house is a bit of somewhat of a freedom fighter, or someone wants to save the world. Someone who wants to, right? He's got a bit of that. I think I've seen him in a few things, like for UNICEF and things like that. Her Jupiter and their Mars conjunction also speaks to like sexual compatibility as well, so that's quite good. His Sun sits in her third house of friendship, so they do have a genuinely good relationship. His Sun in the third house is quite nice usually. I mean, there's always exceptions, but if someone's in a Synastry chart, if someone has placements like a Sun or a Mercury or something like a Moon even in your third house, they're gonna feel like a friend, right? And that's what you need in a romantic relationship, friendship first. Feels like home. Orlando's ascendant conjuncts Charlotte Hall. Oh. Orlando's ascendant conjuncts Katy's IC. Please forgive me. He feels like home to her. I think being with him is very, very grounding. I think when she's in her crazy, which I've seen her podcast, she talks about it when she's being neurotic and when she's being anxious, and I apologize for calling it crazy, but that's kind of what it feels like. I feel like I had that today, when you're just like hormonal, or you're just, you're having anxiety, things like that. you sometimes need someone to tell you everything's going to be okay and kiss you on the forehead and give you a hug. Sometimes you really like, he does that. His ascendant sits in her 4th house. He feels like home to her. He's very grounding to her. Anybody that has a placement in your 4th house, I mean, they can drive you insane if they're an unstable person, don't get me wrong. People in your 4th house can drive you crazy. It's family. But they can also ground you, because the 4th house is it's like a tree. If you look at your chart like a tree, the 4th house are the roots, and the 10th house and like the houses at the top, they're like the tree branches, the leaves. And if you don't have healthy roots, you're not going to have healthy branches and healthy leaves. So in a Synastry chart, if someone in a romantic Synastry chart especially, having placements in the 4th house is nice. It's not always necessary, but it is nice. And she has an Aquarian 4th house. The family is a little bit crazy, right? Like, I have to use that word again. Scorpio risings who do have their IC, their 4th house in Aquarius, have kind of very like tumultuous, difficult, disconnected families, difficult relationship with the parents. So, yeah. And also her moon placement also indicates that she feels like she couldn't feel at home. Being with him helps with that. He's also got an exalted Venus. It's in Pisces, which squares her Venus. They have a clash of ideals. And you know, it's a good thing he has a Venus in Pisces. He loves without boundaries. It's an exalted placement. Like, Venus in Pisces is the best placement. It will love you to eternity and back. And I think he has been very supportive and followed her around, and, you know, given her standing ovations in public, probably in private. But Venus and Pisces, they can get tired. They can get exhausted. And he's got a lot of Capricorn placements, so he does have the ability to draw some boundaries. His Venus squares her Venus. Her Venus is in a conjunction with an erratic planet. I'm wondering if maybe he's had enough of the tour. Maybe he's had enough of potentially, I don't know, taking care of the child most of the time. I'm wondering if there's some of that there. Certainly being in a serious relationship with a pop star has them separated for long periods of time. And if her daughter's not with her, then she's likely with her dad. You know, that could cause some tension. He would prefer to be at home. He's a bit of a like a home guy. Like, I think he likes to stay in. She likes to be out. She likes to be seen. She likes to be a pop star. She longs to be an it girl. And I don't think he particularly cares about that. He's trying to be her biggest cheerleader. But sometimes you get over it. You get exhausted with it all. It's a practical partnership. Orlando's Jupiter in Katy's 7th house and conjunct her North Node. Why does he have that with Lilith? Why? Is being with him, I'm wondering if being with him is a little bit like being in a prison. I mean, he's kind of hot. I wouldn't mind that prison, but it's fancy. Lilith with Jupiter retrograde, disappointing marriages. He was actually married to Miranda Kerr, and I think she had some heavy. She is a 29 degree Aries, and she's got like some heavy Taurus placements. That's interesting. And he married her. He hasn't married Katy. Okay. Disappointing marriages. Maybe he's attracted to very free-spirited women as well, and he likes to lock them down. Lilith is that free-spirited, toxic woman. And it's sitting with his Jupiter, which represents like traditional marriage, and it's in retrograde. So it's a disappointing traditional marriage to a toxic woman, or a free woman that doesn't want to be caged. He's attracted to these women. He's attracted to free-spirited women. You know, women who don't like to be caged. He likes to cage women that don't like to be caged. I allegedly. But I'm just telling you what I see here. Normally, Jupiter in a Synastry chart, if your Jupiter sits in someone's 7th house, it's quite lovely. It means that, you know, potentially you could show them a lot more connections. You would open up their 7th house so they would get to know more people. It's good socially. It's also, you know, 7th house is the partnership house, the relationship house. So if your Jupiter, the planet of abundance and marriage, is sitting in someone's 7th house, you would think that would be really, really good for relationships. And generally it is. It's very fruitful. But Lilith is here. Katie's North Node is here as well. North Node of Fate and Destiny in that 7th house with no placements. That's painful. And I did do a reading on her before. Her South Node is with all that Scorpio. So that's really, really difficult because she holds herself back she gets in her own way of revolution. Her destiny is to find stability. Taurus is money. Taurus is traditional things. Taurus is, you know, the white picket fence and, you know, the big car and like a nice husband. And unfortunately for her, that's not enough. Because her South Node with all those planets in Scorpio, like on the ascendant in the first house, she's very determined. She doesn't. Part of her doesn't want to share. She wants to be in the spotlight. North Node in the 7th house is about working in cooperation with others, and I think she has done that with Orlando. But a leopard can't change its spots, you know. So, I think he's been quite good for her. But there's nothing else here. If he had a heavier Taurus placement, maybe, but anyway. Career slowdown. His Saturn sits on her midheaven. It's really interesting because when they got together, that's around the time that her career started to slow down. I think she hooked up with him after she was with, what's his name? John Mayer. Do you remember when she was with John Mayer? Ooh, what a disaster. They were off, they were on, they were off, they were on. Oh my goodness. So she was coming off the back of that when she got with him. His Saturn is on her midheaven. That's restricting career. She makes him look good. I don't necessarily think he makes her look good. And it's not malicious. It's not like he intends to make her look bad. He's very, very supportive, like on the sidelines and all of that. But being with him does restrict her career. Being with him may be a bit of a liability for her fame, even if it is a happy, loving relationship. And, you know, if someone's Saturn sits on your midheaven, being in a relationship with them may limit your career options. It's more situational, not intentional, not on his part. He also has, because his descendant's in Leo. His descendant is in Leo, so, and his Saturn's in Leo. Oh, that's a divorce placement. If you've got Saturn playing out in your 7th house, try not to get married until after your Saturn return, by the way. If you've got Saturn playing out in your 7th, really just please leave it until you're after 30. And her midheaven aligns with his descendant as well. Being with her means being in a relationship with her means being in a relationship with her persona. The midheaven is the public self. The descendant is your partner. He's in a relationship with Katy Perry, the superstar. And that's a big part of the relationship, is that he has to be on her arm. He's not just dating Catherine Hudson. He's not just married dating. He's not just in a relationship with Catherine Hudson. He's with Katy Perry. You know, Katy Perry's a Leo. Midheaven and Leo. You know? Anyway. Oh, look at that. Juno, the asteroid of marriage, is sitting on his vertex of like fated soulmates. Interesting. And Interest, and it's sitting in her 11th house. Oh, it's very visible. And this relationship is very, very, very visible. All right, so we've come to the end here. Yeah, look at that square. We couldn't see it before. Do you see his Venus and Pisces having having an argument with her Venus in Sagittarius? She's like, I want to travel around the world and be a pop star. And he's like, okay, I don't like it. I'll look after the kid, but this is exhausting. Yeah. There's a lot of love here. There really is. There's a lot of connection. I think there's a great physical connection. I was going to say there's an intellectual connection, but I don't think she's that intellectual. Not to say that she's stupid or anything, not at all, but I don't think she's an intellect. I also don't think that his last wife was an intellect either. He doesn't... I mean, I do love Miranda Kerr. I think both of these women are smart in their own ways, and they run their businesses, and I think they're really good at it. But I don't think they're the most intellectual of people. I guess that might be his thing. That's okay. You don't have to be a smart person. I'm not attracted to intellectual guys. It's fine. It's just something that I noticed here. She's got Saturn with her Mercury though. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Another thing, just neither of them have placements in each other's 7th house. And he doesn't even have any placements in her 4th house. You know how I talked about how people with placements in your 4th house ground you into the home? She doesn't have any significant placements in Gemini that would ground him into that 4th house. He grounds her. He's very grounding of her. He's very good for her in that way. She not for him. And then on top of that, she doesn't have any significant, other than midheaven, she doesn't have any significant personal placements in Leo that would make her a bit more of an ideal partner. And he doesn't have any significant Taurus placements other than this Lilith and Jupiter that would make him the ideal partner for her. So it's not the end of the world. But it's just something that I've noticed. Okay. That's all I have to say, guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if you'd like to support me, the links are all below for bookings and the event and members. Okay. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.